Welcome to the Peachtree Morning Show by DCI. It's a wise way to start the day. Hope you enjoy.
Hi, welcome to the Peachtree Morning Breakfast Show. This is Geshe Michael, with Brigitte Meyer from Munich, Germany, who's a computer wizard expert manager of a large team, which makes your credit cards, so be nice to her, high security. And Katie Fetchingheimer from somewhere in Colorado in the mountains, who's an entrepreneur and also the director of the Diamond Cutter Press, which just finished an amazing book about karmic correlations. So welcome, you two guys. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
You for
Good to see you. We'll have some fun today. I'm eating breakfast. I don't care. Okay, Katie, you got a video for us, or?
Yes, we do. We have a video Brigitte's going to play from Tobias in Germany.
Oh, his questions are hard.
He's a physicist from Germany and astronomer. Can you explain us about the ultimate reality, please? What is it? What does it mean? What does it encompass? Thank you.
He talked very, very low. So the question is, can you please explain about ultimate reality? What is it?
Oh my gosh. You guys start.
Well, I thought this would be a good pitch for DCI Level 7 because Geshe Michael created an absolutely amazing course and manual that goes with the course that really goes into this as much as possible, while using ways to describe something that I feel like is undescribable. And one of my favorite metaphors that he talks about is Grand Central Station, or any busy train station in the world, and how, especially in, I think in New York, he said that there's a layer of bedrock that rests underneath the city, underneath the train station, this quiet layer that's been there for a really long time, that everything is resting on. The big city, the people, everything is on top of it, and we don't even know it. So that was one level that he describes ultimate reality as in DCI Level 7 that I thought was really helped my brain understand it.
Brigitte, what do you think?
I remember also DCI Level 7, I cannot talk about the direct perception of emptiness or ultimate reality, but in this level, one of the main points we learn is to try to figure out how the seed opens in our mind and how the picture is flying to the car. We did it with a car in Hamburg.
Wow.
And I had in my life 2 or 3 moments where a person was shouting at me or criticizing me, and I didn't have this experience of seeing the seed open and the thing flying out. But somehow it switched in my perception that I was seeing myself doing the same to somebody else. So that's, I think, the nearest what I had in this sense. And I think if we can cultivate it during the day, that we constantly remind us, what have I done to do it? Because it's the 2 sides of the coin. The one is emptiness or ultimate reality, and the other one is cause and effect. And I think if we constantly remind us about cause and effect, we might come there. I don't know, please.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
You are an expert on the topic.
I was giving a talk last week. So we're supposed to go on tour to South Asia. So Guangzhou, Shanghai, Taipei, Shenzhen, and we can't go. I can't go. So we pushed it back as far as we could. And now in China, the virus is okay. The people can meet up to 150, 200 people. So they're going to hold the program. And they asked me to make a talk on a video, you know. So I'm a little bit afraid because I'm going to get stuck in my house for the rest of my life. But I had an interesting idea, and you and me and Katie, we were talking about it, that in Arizona, where I live, in this little town, nobody believes the virus is true.
Yeah.
So actually, the disease didn't reach here much. It's all around us, and it will reach here in time. But right now, there's a lot of people who say, oh, this is just some kind of hoax, or this is not real. And I was thinking that, and they say it's because they can't see it, you know. And then I was thinking, so there's two realities in our town, you know. There's the normal reality that we had before the virus, and then there's a hidden reality, which is the virus, and it can kill you. It's not visible, and it's so not visible that a lot of people don't think it exists even. But it can kill you. It can invade your other reality and kill you. And I like to think of ultimate reality is like that. It's a invisible reality that's all around us. And just because it's invisible doesn't mean it's not affecting us. You see, if we could make contact with it, if we could plug into it, like into electricity socket, then we could do anything. We could literally do anything. I mean, nowadays there's a comet. Can you see it in Germany? I don't know.
It's rainy and cloudy, so maybe that's the reason why we don't see it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We don't have this problem of rain here, ever.
We have it since 6 weeks.
But there's a nice, there's a comet going on, and it's like something that's normally invisible, and now you can see it. So I think it's hard to say. I think the first thing I want to say about ultimate reality is it's like the virus, because you can't see it. You can look all around you, and maybe there's 100 viruses in this room, I don't know, but you can't see it, but it's affecting you. It will affect you. So I'm thinking that's a good example. What do you guys think? Katie?
In one book I was reading, they were talking about the absolute purity of the realm of is, talking about ultimate reality and emptiness. And so we were like, well, what is the realm of is? And
I think it's a new t-shirt from your store.
I think so. What is the realm of is? And I just like the idea to think of it as if you were at the movie theater and you're watching the movie, and there's a big projector screen, and it's a big white screen that is it's never changing. And I think trying to even understand an unchanging thing is really hard, because we mostly have examples of changing things in our reality. So that's a good metaphor to help our brains understand maybe ultimate reality, and how it helps us as we realize that we're the one putting the picture on the blank screen.
Did that?
May I be honest? I was thinking in the moment, watching the white screen all the time, how boring. So, yeah. Is it to experience it, is it the trigger to change the movie? Ultimate? So I that's the question I'm asking myself in the moment, because when Katie described really this white screen, it had in my mind, the thought popped up, oh, how boring. I don't want to watch a white screen all the time. So I would like to switch the movie. But to switch it, you have to experience the white screen.
Well, I think if you don't understand that you're watching them, I like to think of there's a movie about a bad guy, and let's say the bad guy is hurting a kid in the movie, and then there's another kid watching the movie, and they see the bad guy hurting the kid in the movie, so they run up to the screen, and they hit the screen. They hit the picture on the screen. And okay, in theory, that's what we are doing all the time. With everything, with everybody. We are like some kind of crazy little kid who's trying to change things on the screen with their hands. And actually, that's not a real person. Nothing will happen if the kid goes to the screen and tries to push the bad guy and hurt the bad guy. Nothing will happen to the bad guy at all, because the bad guy, you have to go to the projector and change it. You know what I mean? You want the movie to change. So it means 7 billion people are hitting the screen, and it doesn't do anything.
And the realization is to be aware that it is a screen and a movie. Yeah,
and then you can go change the project. Then you can change the movie. But try to imagine the scope of the mistake. The scope is global. And it's every 5 minutes. It's 7 billion, 8 billion people doing something completely crazy all day. You know, it's pretty unbelievable. If you saw the screen, then you could go change the movie.
And you could really understand that it is just a screen and you're the one doing the movie, and really you're responsible in a good way.
And then no frustration. Like 99% of all emotions, of all hurt emotions or unhappy emotions, just disappear on that day. It's pretty, I don't know, it's pretty amazing.
What would be a good, I just have a question. What would be a good way to start planting seeds to have that feeling? Could we imagine the before and after? Could we start trying to do a 4-step plan for it to see it? Do you have any advice for how to see this thing?
I asked my teacher that, and he gave a strange answer. He said, oh, don't worry, the world will give you chances to fix things, because you will suffer your whole life. Things will go wrong your whole life. Everything you try to do, your relationships, your business, everything, your health, everything will collapse one by one. So then they will remind you that you don't know what's going on. So it was almost like you're lucky that hitting the screen hurts your hand, because then you will try to think of a better way to do it. Something like that.
You said something about that the other day, something really funny about that. I can't remember quite what it was, but something about hurting your hand when you hit the screen and you're, never mind.
It's kind of, in one way, I think it's tragic. It's a tragedy, right? It's a global tragedy. But in the other way, it's a big opportunity, right? So
yeah. Well, I definitely find myself thinking about emptiness more when things are going wrong, because you really want it. You're inspired to change things.
Yeah. And I think even if you saw it directly, they say you couldn't keep it in mind all the time. Like, you would still forget from time to time. And so you would still try to do things that don't work, And so I guess just the frustration of things not working would keep reminding you to think about the projector, the projection scene. But it's definitely not just some dumb philosophy thing, It's not that. It's very practical, right? I think something like that.
Definitely the first time I heard about it, maybe you had a similar experience, Brigitte. It was like a light bulb went on, because I felt like that was the piece I had been missing in my life with understanding how things worked, that they were coming from me.
I can confirm that it was like this light bulb going on, but it gives you so much power because now you can change how your future will be.
What do you guys think about, okay, so let's say you've been studying it for 5 years or 10 years and you've heard about it a lot. And then how to remind yourself when you forget? That's the question. Like how to, yeah, how to remind yourself when you can't remember.
I got a tattoo on my hand so that I can remember.
But you know what happens is you stop looking at the tattoo.
You
on
do.
your hand.
Yeah.
You do.
Have good friends to remind you when you are start complaining.
Yeah. And just having, people around you who are a good influence, hopefully having a job like publishing books that make you read about it all the time.
By the way, I have time to check those covers today, okay? So.
Oh, great. Okay.
But I have a mini meditation which reminds me at the end of the day, I try to figure out what is a problem, which is some kind of, these problems which are coming up all the time, and you're not really tackling them with the knowledge about seeds, with a 4-step plan or other stuff.
You have a system to remind yourself?
Yeah, I just do a meditation at the end of the day. What are the things which bothered me today, people who are bothering me, and so I try to make a list, and then I point to one which I think I have this problem since years, since weeks, since how long, and I have never ever tackled it with the knowledge about how to change it with the 4 steps.
Mm-hmm.
And also the 3 times book, the 6 times book, the 1 time book, that can really help. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
We actually, the timer went off. Sorry.
Katie, they say that you're lucky to have a young child because, there's a tradition in the ancient teachings that sometimes the Buddha will speak through a young child. And I just wonder if you've had that experience with your baby, Ava.
She does. Oh, go ahead.
Has she sent you messages about ultimate reality or stuff like that?
It seems like she's doing it all the time. Me and Adam were talking about it the other day, that she just really surprises us. The other day I was kind of having an agitated day, and she actually went and got an image that I hold very dear and it reminds me of emptiness, and she went and got it and put it in her laundry basket and was pushing it around like a boat. And it reminded me of emptiness and who's in charge, who's driving the boat. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you. And also yesterday, she pointed at a picture of someone special to me and was calling them a name. She was like, Grandpa, Grandpa. And I was like, oh, are you talking, am I surrounded by emptiness people?
I'm very suspicious of kids who point at you and then point to the sky. And she's been doing that a lot lately that I've seen in the videos.
That's true. That's true. That's very true. Yeah. Where are we going, Ava?
Yeah, she's like that.
Yeah.
Okay, practical suggestions, right, Brigitte? We're at the end of the time, I think.
My suggestion is really think about at the end of the day, how have you created the situations who bug you, and plant the seeds to change it. Just remind you, everything is coming from you. Yeah.
I would say try to have a kid. No. I think trying to keep your.
You were gonna loan your kid out.
Loan my kid out. I was going to say try and experiment keeping the 6-time book, 3-time book, 1-time book. It actually does help remind you of emptiness every day. And also when things go wrong, try and have every time something goes wrong, get in touch with the feeling of that's coming from me.
My advice is, Tobias, is, get some of those books from Katie's Diamond Cutter Press. And I really enjoy spending a little bit of time every day with those books, because I feel like I'm sitting with the author, who the authors are, and I really like it. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
And we do ship internationally as well.
And you can ship your seed questions to seedquestions@diamondcutterinstitute.com. Keep it to 30 seconds. Phone horizontal, vertical? How is that called? Vertical?
This way.
We are curious about your questions, and the question for tomorrow, Tuesday, is why are situations getting much more severe over time? Geshe-la, you're muted. Geshe-la, you're muted.
Don't forget to send us a music list, okay?
Yeah, the music list for Friday. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks for watching today's Peachtree Morning Show. See you next time.